Studio 31.
21 WFMJ, Youngstown.
Hi everyone, for the most part our Thursday was a really nice day. We did have a couple of showers in the afternoon and the evening. Those have faded away and we're left with a clear sky as we head through the overnight. Stray shower early Friday morning. Otherwise our Friday also looking great, and that includes perfect weather for high school football Friday evening. Kickoff temperatures in the mid-60s, cooling off quickly, 60 by halftime, mid-50s as we head deeper into the evening, and we've got a great weekend ahead. 21 News starts right now.
Coming up on 21 News, President Biden announcing sweeping new COVID mitigation efforts. A look at how vaccine requirements could affect over 100 million Americans.
Local businesses are weighing on the vaccine announcement, why local leaders think the mandates could face fierce pushback.
An officer stops a gun-wielding man in Youngstown after a traffic stop. More on how it unfolded and how a passerby helped out.
Locally owned, locally connected. Live from the 21 News studios in downtown Youngstown, this is 21 News, 11 p.m.
With coronavirus cases continuing to rise across the country, President Joe Biden announced sweeping vaccine mandates.
It's a change of course for the administration, which shied away from mandates early in the summer. And it's a move that comes as the president says his patience is wearing thin. President Biden today announcing sweeping new measures to tackle COVID-19, taking a tougher stance on vaccines, testing, and more.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us. This is not about freedom or personal choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you.
The new strategy comes as new COVID cases overwhelm hospitals, driven by the fierce Delta variant.
We're in the tough stretch, and it could last for a while.
The president signing 2 executive orders telling employers with 100 or more workers to require vaccines or weekly testing, and requiring vaccines for the vast majority of federal workers and contractors.
If you want to work with the federal government and do business with us, get vaccinated.
Along with expanding vaccinations, the 6-point plan includes further protecting the vaccinated, keeping schools safely open, including a call for regular COVID testing, and increasing testing and mask requirements.
Now we just have to finish the job with truth, with science, with confidence, and together as one nation.
Los Angeles already taking the landmark step of requiring vaccines for students 12 and over. The renewed effort coming amid a defiant anti-vax and anti-mask group. Leaving open the question, just how effective can the new strategy be?
It's unknown right now when those orders will take effect, but local businesses and leaders expect there to be swift opposition from those advocating for personal freedoms.
Janet Rogers sought reaction from some local employers about the new mandates.
For employers with 100 or more workers, the forced choice of a COVID-19 vaccine or weekly negative virus test in order to work is not expected to sit well with many employees, especially people not vaccinated. Although Youngstown is considering a vaccine mandate for its 700 employees after Moderna receives FDA approval, the city law director, Jeff Limbian, expects people to legally challenge the president's authority over state and city employees, along with private businesses.
Corporate entities, any private entity that is not subject to the strictures of an executive order. I think it's beyond the scope of what an executive order should be.
Limbian adds it's the mayor and city elected leaders who have authority to put a mandate in place for city employees. However, Phantom Fireworks say they're in sync with the president. The company's vice president, William Weimer, said, "We've been very concerned about our team members, their family members, and our visitors. About 2 months ago, we instituted a policy for unvaccinated workers to provide a negative COVID test once a week." Weimer added this is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated. We saw Ohio hit over 7,800 new cases this morning and decided we were going to mandate a vaccine. A memo just went out to our employees after 5 p.m. today. Employers who don't comply could be fined up to $14,000 per violation by OSHA. Now, the president did not give a time frame for when the mandates will take effect. With more local news, I'm Janet Rogers.
The coronavirus is playing a role in Sharon Regional Medical Center's decision to discontinue maternity and obstetric services around December 31st of this year. And this is a statement from Sharon Regional this afternoon. They say it's in light of significantly reduced patient demand, decreased use, and other operational considerations, including staffing and COVID-19 challenges. They say many of these factors were years in the making. Moderna says they're working on creating a vaccine that fights both COVID-19 and the flu. The single-dose vaccine would combine their booster against the coronavirus with their booster against the flu. The company reportedly hopes to have the shot ready and available by the fall. Moderna also submitted its COVID-19 booster shot for FDA approval this month.
The FDA has delayed a decision on whether to allow best-selling e-cigarette brand Juul to stay on the market. The administration has already rejected applications for more than 946,000 vaping products, many for targeting underage teens. But the agency wants more time to decide the fate of Juul because of its popularity. Last year, e-cigarette manufacturers were given until today to submit applications to remain on the market.
Senator Sherrod Brown swung through the valley today talking about an addition that he made to the larger bipartisan infrastructure bill.
The senator wants more funding to fix and rebuild bridges. According to a recent report, more than 3,200 bridges in Ohio are in need of repair or replacement. Senator Brown hopes the state will get $12 billion in the proposed infrastructure bill to upgrade those bridges and other infrastructure. Brown hopes the bill will also help spur economic development.
This legislation will create jobs in the steel industry. Think about McDonald Steel in Trumbull County. This has the potential to mean more contracts for more steel jobs.
Mahoning County engineer Pat Giannetti says though no bridge in the county is currently in disrepair, it's best to fix and replace before something turns into a dangerous problem.
A man who still had nearly 5 years remaining on a 12-year sentence for a deadly Youngstown shooting is being released from prison. A judge granted judicial release to Charles Stanley, placing him on probation for 5 years. Stanley was indicted on charges for the December 2013 shooting death of a 20-year-old. He pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter with a firearm specification and was sentenced in 2016.
Youngstown officers were honored today for putting their lives on the line each day to keep our community safe.
This is a look at the department's annual awards luncheon at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. They couldn't have it last year because of the pandemic, so they gave out around 90 awards today.
Now, one of those officers finding himself in a scary situation Wednesday after getting into an altercation with a suspect.
That's right. He luckily had a little help from a brave woman who happened to be passing by. Officer Chris Weibel pulled over a vehicle asking the driver, Dwayne Reed, to get out of the car for not having a license. Weibel began to scuffle with the suspect, but then noticed Reed had a gun. He was able to slide the gun away from the man, and a passerby who saw what was happening stepped in. They ran up, put the gun in the police cruiser, rolled up the windows, and locked the doors to stop anything serious from happening.
It's a dangerous job. I mean, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. If he would have got loose from that officer and got that gun back, that officer would have been shot. You don't pull a gun on an officer unless you're going to use it. So it was very scary.
Reed was arrested on several charges. The officer says he's thankful that the passerby made the quick decision to hide that gun.
A follow-up now to a story we brought you earlier this week involving the Youngstown City Schools bus shortage. School officials tell us they have 3 of the buses that were down the first day back on the road, but the issue still is not fixed. Right now, 9 of the 12 buses that were down Tuesday remain out of commission for now. In the meantime, drivers are still doubling up on routes, and they're also using shuttles and vans to transport students.
The Columbiana Street Fair kicked off tonight. It's known as the State Fair of Street Fairs. We're told the 3-day event regularly sees more than 30,000 people each day. Tonight's event started off with a parade, followed by the opening of rides, food vendors, and various shops. The fair continues tomorrow and Saturday until 11 p.m. along Main Street. We have more details over on the 21 News app. Tell you what, it was starting to cool off, but when the sun went down, it got downright chilly.
Yeah, but that's not supposed to last too long, as temperatures are supposed to warm up soon. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm with a check of our forecast.
Yeah, the summery weather will continue as we we head towards the end of the weekend and into early next week. But in the meantime, yeah, a chill in the air, a little taste of autumn, if you will. Our out-the-door forecast for Friday morning featuring temperatures well down into the lower 50s under a mostly sunny sky. And we are expecting dry weather for most of Friday. I can't rule out a stray shower, though, first thing in the morning. Let's talk about the weekend. 78 on Saturday, then 85 on Sunday. And we should stay in the 80s for next week with an increase in those dew points as well. And again, it's going to feel like summer. Derek?
I'm not ready to give it up just yet. Thanks, Eric. Next, a new Valley art exhibit centered around the September 11th attacks is set to open this weekend. How the artists hope that these pieces can be a point of healing 20 years later.
Closed captioning is made possible by Window World. For windows, doors, or siding, call 1-800-NEW-WINDOW.
A new season of Live is here.
As we approach the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, one local art museum is displaying a limited time exhibit showcasing local artwork about the historical day in American history.
I was at the museum Thursday evening as they were installing the exhibit. Directors and artists say it's a beautiful way to remember that horrific day 20 years ago.
We're really excited to hold, hopefully, Northeast Ohio's central point of healing for the 20th anniversary of the attacks.
It's a way to remember, reflect, and honor our first responders on that day 20 years ago that changed America forever.
I feel very honored as a local artist to have my photo displayed here. Everybody will always remember the events of that day.
From paintings to drawings to photographs. So we were really excited to have the community participate or share their responses to 9/11.
Medici Museum of Art is installing their 9/11 exhibit ahead of its opening this Saturday, the 20th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. Local artists, including several MCCTC students, showcasing their work.
The students didn't live through personally, but they've heard the stories from their parents. It's really important that as artists, I tap into, just because you weren't maybe at an event, what you're feeling about that event. Can you express that feeling through your artwork?
Now, it's not just local art displayed here. These 5 photos behind me were actually borrowed from the 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City.
We urge the public to come out to celebrate first responders and to pay tribute to the 2,977 lives lost, and to ultimately celebrate the American spirit.
Now, the opening of the exhibit also features a reflection, a tribute, a light display, and even a concert during the 20th anniversary this weekend. And the event is entirely free, so we'll have continuous coverage on WFMJ tomorrow as well as this weekend.
Yeah, something we need to go see. Thanks. New DNA technology will help the New York Medical Examiner identify remains from the 9/11 attack. There are still more than 1,100 remains from the attacks that have not been identified. But the New York City Medical Examiner's Office has been approved to use cutting-edge DNA technology called next-generation sequencing. The technology is already being used by the Department of Defense to identify remains from World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam.
Patriot Day is observed every September 11th, honoring those lost on that day and those that serve the nation's armed forces.
At Quaker Steak and Lube in Austintown tonight, the annual ceremony started as a skydiver dressed in red, white, and blue landed in their parking lot.
It's just nice to thank the veterans who gave up their time for our country, and a lot of them even more than that. One thing special to me is I always remember my mother's brother passed away in Vietnam in the Marines, so every time I look at an American flag, that's what I think about.
And that was Youngstown firefighter Jimmy Drummond, who you see right there jumping out of a plane, and he parachuted right down into the parking lot of Quaker Steak. He's jumped out of a plane now over 12,000 times. Says he hopes the tradition of skydiving into that event can continue for years to come. All right, it's a beautiful night for that, and it is a little bit of a chill in the air right now, 59 degrees, but our weekend is looking pretty good. Eric will have your forecast next.
This Storm Tracker Storm Cam is brought to you by Refresh Dental. Healthier teeth, happier you.
Download the Storm Tracker 21 app for severe weather updates.
Climate was back in the news earlier today as NOAA released the figures for the summer season, and it was revealed that in the lower 48 states, the summer of 2021 basically ties a Dust Bowl summer, 1936, for the warmest on record across the lower 48. Really just a few patches of blue on this map showing cooler than average temperatures in parts of the deep south. But in the northern tier of states and certainly out west, it was remarkably hot for a lot of the summer season, especially in the western U.S. where it was also very dry. These are the precipitation figures over here. Everywhere where you see green, it was a wetter than average summer, and just about all of Ohio and Pennsylvania is included in that. We don't have a graphic to show you just yet for 2021, but it'll look similar to 2020 in that most of the world is warmer than the average. No surprise there. And it's a big difference between modern times and that very hot summer in 1936. In 1936, a lot of the U.S. was hot, but look at the rest of the world. A lot of below average temperatures, so the entire world was not on fire like it is right now in modern times. Locally, when we talk about climate change, I've kind of pinpointed 4 main impacts that we have been seeing and will continue to see. Number 1 is the increase in precipitation. The overall rain numbers are higher, and the individual heavy rain events are increasing in number in our warmer atmosphere. And in addition to it being warmer, it's also more humid in the summer season, and kind of coinciding with that, it doesn't cool off much at night when we have these elevated humidity levels in the summer, and warmer winters, number 4 on my list of impacts that we are seeing from climate change around here. Things are quiet locally this evening. It's going to stay that way for most of the night tonight, although I can't rule out a sprinkle or a quick shower as we head towards daybreak tomorrow morning. A lake effect rain shower, a slim possibility, but most of us will not see that. It is cooling off. Temperatures will end up in the lower 50s overnight tonight, and aside from a stray shower early in the day, tomorrow's a great day. We'll have lots of afternoon sun. Dry and beautiful tomorrow evening for football. 72 tomorrow. This will be the coolest day we have for a while because we have some changes coming up as we head into the weekend. High pressure slides off to the east. Southwesterly wind develops. We'll get into the upper 70s Saturday. And then on Sunday, mix of sun and clouds and temperatures racing into the mid 80s. And that's just kind of the start of this warming trend that will continue through most of next week. 81 on Monday, 85 on Tuesday. Next chance for a shower or a storm. Small chance Monday afternoon into Monday night. But then I think we are dry Tuesday, and a shower and thunderstorm possibility back in the forecast for Wednesday. Erin?
Still ahead, a Mineral Ridge bar and restaurant becomes the centerpiece for a rivalry between 2 schools. How the post office pub is playing into all the fun.
The Trumbull Career and Technical Center announced plans to introduce a new Early Innovators Academy. The TCTC program will offer project-based career exploration courses for 9th and 10th graders. The focus revolving around STEM education. Acceptance will be determined on a first-come, first-served basis, and enrollment will open in early December 2021.
2 longtime football rivals, Mineral Ridge and McDonald, will hit the gridiron tomorrow night, but the 2 sides had a little fun leading up to the big game. A Mineral Ridge restaurant, the post office pub, has become the centerpiece for the fun between the 2 schools. Cheerleaders from both schools have decorated the pub down the middle with their respective school colors. The homeroom class that brings in the most guests by the end of the week will receive a catered lunch at school.
I just thought, since our restaurant is so centrally located between the 2 schools, and McDonald and Mineral Ridge are a combined community almost, we wanted to kind of join in on that rivalry fun.
Simonek says currently both schools are practically neck and neck. The contest ends Saturday night when the restaurant closes, and the winner will be announced through social media on Sunday.
On 21 Sports, before the football frenzy kicks off tomorrow, tonight we get you caught up with volleyball and soccer from across the valley. Corey McCrae is up next.
Coming up on WFMJ Today.
9/11 changed so many aspects of all of our everyday lives, including many changes to the legal system. So as we approach the 20th anniversary of 9/11, we'll take a look at some of the big legal changes that have happened because of that Friday morning in Legally Speaking.
Plus, changes that could make it more affordable to go to college from Consumer Reports.
And I'll be live out at the Medici Museum in Howland, where they'll have a special art display to honor the events of 9/11.
All that starting at 5 a.m.
The more you see,
this is wild.
The more you do,
you can achieve the impossible.
The more you know. Weekends on NBC.
These shows, scheduled for September 11th, will now be seen at special days and times.
Good Friday morning. The Poland boys soccer team beefed up its resume with a win over Girard, the 15th ranked team in Division II. Put up another shutout tonight. They've only allowed 4 goals so far this season. They were taking on Girard first half, no score. Thomas Cardiero for the Indians going to come up with a big save. Is a nice shot from outside the 18. Does a good job just to get it out of there. But Noah Huda, he's just been unstoppable, just playing around with the footwork and puts it in the back of the net, pulling a 1-0 lead. Then it's Tyler Ato. Keep in mind, only 2 locally state-ranked teams on the boys pitch, and it's Hallinan pulling Tyler Antle there with the header off a Huda free kick, and pulling again by virtue of shutout a winner 4-0. Well, Erin told you about the post office pub rivalry, and that got renewed on the hardwood for volleyball. Ridge and McDonald match tied 2-2, so a winner-take-all 15-point set, and Maria Razil putting McDonald up early 7-5. Then it's Razil again, daughter of the longtime great coach Jeff Razil, and this time 14-12. So now Ridge needing 3 straight points. Hannah Loeb says we could do it, and tied it up at 14. So game point, Faith Schneider with a big-time kill here, and Ridge on the road gets the victory 3-2. And also a good win in Columbiana tonight, where Wellsville unbeaten in town in first set. They were up 7-5. And how about Presley Stokes? She's only a freshman, but she had 17 kills tonight, including that one. 8-5, Tigers up. Still first set kill, courtesy of Aubrey Ramsey, the outside hitter and a junior, coming up with a big-time kill. Wellsville won the first set 25-14. Second set, how about a kill from Elena Amato? She had 20 kills and 2 aces for Miss Amato. Still second set. How about a kill from Kelsey Cameron? So Columbiana working their way back into things, and they took a 1-point lead. Now match point, Tori Long. How about the perfect placement here? Game, set, winning point. Columbiana takes a set, but in a long battle, Wellsville wins the war to stay unbeaten. Final 3-2-1. And it's another big weekend of high school football. And in our Ainsley Heating and Cooling YSNLive.com preview, Springfield and Lowville has all the makings to be a classic.
The keys is going to be sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy, because this is going to be an offensive explosion on both sides of the football.
After 3 games, the Tigers are averaging 37 points, the Rockets 39, and both have dynamic quarterbacks.
You got Vinny Ballone, just a junior, and the kid can sling it all over the yard. He's got great receivers to throw to, impressive receivers, and he can run the ball too. Everybody knows Bo Brungarden, what he can do. He's looking to turn the corner. He's been able to put this team back on his back and ride it out.
This one could be a shootout and come down to the wire.
It comes down to whatever quarterback has the ball in his hands at the end of the ball game with a chance to win it. Liverpool and Beaver Local. Eric Wilhelm, shifty quarterback, just a junior, super athletic, very smart, inside, outside the classroom, multi-sport athlete. He's going to make things happen as well. Beaver Local putting up over 50 points last week really opened up some eyes, Dana. I think if they can replicate what they did last week, East Liverpool is in for a tough night.
Log on to ysnlive.com for streaming games this weekend.
And the Youngstown State football team plays Michigan State tomorrow for the 3rd time in school history. And while it's a Power 5 school and a big-time opponent, the Penguins are trying to keep that all in perspective.
I approach this game like any other game. It's nothing different. The only different, bigger crowd, different colors, but same technique, same dream, same thing, honestly. I approach this game like every other game.
Is it going to be a bigger stadium we play in? Yes. And, we got to handle the emotions of that. And so we got a plan that will help do that.
Big game Saturday.
Yeah, shock the world. Maybe they can pull it off.
Maybe.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, we'll be right back.
For more information on any of the stories you've seen in this newscast, go to WFMJ.com.
Before we go, we've all seen the effect the labor shortage has had on the restaurant industry.
But a Texas restaurant has found a solution for the issue using robots as part of its wait staff. The owner of La Dooney in Dallas says he has 1/3 of his staff he had pre-pandemic, so he turned to robots for help. They take guests to their tables, bring out orders, and they can even sing happy birthday.
I feel like we're going to see more and more of that.
Oh, yeah.
Down the road.
For more local news, weather and sports, and any breaking news, just download the 21 News app.
Have a great night. Thanks for staying up late with us.